Hi, you guys. I'm home. Yay. Oh my goodness. I had so much trouble getting home from Ceviche, Spain. It was a whole ordeal. If you want to know what happened to me, go into the Patreon and listen to the confessional video about Anthony Pelicano Part 2 and all the drama and scandals, the details around the scandals he was involved with all these A-list celebrities on, like Tom Cruise and Sylvester Stallone. You will love it. But in there is what happened to me. And let's just say it's been rough. And that's why last week I released so few YouTube videos. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to really get back in it to win it now that I'm home, hoping that I have no more internet issues. Oh my goodness. It's been like one thing after another. Is Mercury in retrograde or something? Anyway, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. You never know what's going to happen on my channel. You probably have seen some things post, come, and go. By the way, if I ever remove something on YouTube, it's always in the Patreon. Okay, so just remember that. Shh. And it's in the description if you want to sign in. It takes a little bit getting used to. You have to learn how to search. It's not just about getting information shoved at you each day. It really is, you've got to understand the search mechanism and all the different ways we do things on the Patreon, because we do video, we do audio, we do posts. So it's not just, it's very different than other people's Patreon, I think. It's sort of my Reddit. Anyway, let's get into it. So it came to my attention that Kyle was in Australia doing a promo for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she was on a show called Panic Attacks. She was on a show called Kyle and Jackie O, or at least that's what their YouTube channel version of it is. Anyway, she drags me around 5 minutes. If you want to, I'll play it for you. Why not? But I'm playing this because yes, she was a bitch. No question about it. But there's so much juice that I wanted to talk about surrounding her dragging me in the way that she did, and that I just had to do a video about it. And since we didn't do a recap of this week's video, I thought this might be a good one, a good way for us to reconnect on Beverly Hills, but in a different way than just the show. So ready? Here we go.
So here are your options.
Are these people that have gone, or guests, or friends of the housewives?
They've been on the Real Housewives.
Right.
Okay, I'm scared.
Okay, so number one, Brandy. Lisa Vanderpump. Or, did you know, 25,000.
That's a heart now.
Oh my God, I bet she wasn't on there for long, but she kept gloating about her $25,000 sunglasses and her Valentino outfit. Everything was
And
like
she's
a name
still talking
drop.
about the show, and she was a friend on one season. That's all she talks about. I'm
I
like,
know, right.
You need to move on, honey.
Okay, so we're eliminating 25,000.
I'll go with Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy. What?
Bring Brandy back. She's she can be up and down emotionally, right?
Well, I'll tell you why I would go with Brandy. First of all, she was always great TV. She was scary for me because she basically had nothing to lose, and she would say anything. And
Yeah.
we were like, this girl can be dangerous,
Loose
you know.
cannon. Yeah.
Right, but I feel like she actually has grown a lot, but yet she's still herself. So, I mean, I'm actually friendly with her now. She will text me, always very sweet. She's always been an incredible friend to my sister Kim. And I think she's great.
All right, let's just stop there for a second. I'll play you a little more in a second. But let's just get Kyle Richards off her little high horse there. Notice how she skips Lisa Vanderpump altogether because she doesn't want any backlash from the fans for Lisa, because there's so many of them. And I want to talk about this for a second. So Kyle will go on later in this interview. You'll hear her. And she's just so proud of how many years she's been on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? Like, what are we on now? Season 12 or something, right? So here's the thing, though, you guys. Kyle Richards has never been casted in the same way that any other housewife was. And that's because Kyle Richards put together the show for Evolution in the first place. She is what I call in the Patreon a secret producer, okay? They have more access to the producers because they actually are being fed information by them. So if I had been, let's say, related to Paris Hilton and Kathy Hilton and Kim Richards from Witch Mountain was my sister, frankly, there was no other reason to have Kyle Richards put the show together, but the producers felt that Kyle Richards could get the Hiltons involved in the beginning, and her sister Kim would come on, and they loved that family component after it was so successful in New Jersey. They were like, let's let Kyle pull this together. Now, Kyle had a lot of influence on who was on and off the show through the years by planting seeds in production's head. And she was never put through the same scrutiny and difficulties that the other cast members were. If I were her, I would still be on the show too, because frankly, I'd be getting fed information about storyline from the producers, which would make my job easier. Even if the fans don't like me, I'm kind of always they're not gonna get rid of me because I'm like a staple OG, as long as I don't try to demand too much money beyond what they want. And I'm willing to keep going to bat for the show and working with whoever's casted or whatever, no matter what they say. But you'll notice that the fans call Kyle Vile Kyle for years. That the fans, even though she's been on a show for 12 years, she only has a few million followers. Frankly, when you've been on a show for that long, that's not a lot. That doesn't show a huge amount of fans, honestly, like you, or like that intrigued by, your influence or whatever. But even though you're not that great and everyone doesn't really like you and you never actually bring any real drama to the show, the best part of your whole time on the show was your dynamic with your sister, Kim Richards, which is a formula that works on any reality show. It's really strange that you're still around because there's actually no reason for you to be still around. You're not that great of a housewife. You're just forever there, sort of like the couch in the living room that she just can't seem to get rid of because it's such a pain in the ass. So that to me is what Kyle Richards is in the show, my first point. So she shouldn't really be bragging like she was a housewife that made it for years on the show, had to earn their way onto the show, had to try to figure out the storyline on their own and be a successful housewife and try to bring the drama whenever possible. And also deal with the dynamics of the producers, which Kyle, having a, open relationship with them, there wouldn't be a lot not disclosed to her, especially since she formulated the show. Okay, so all I'm going to say is Kyle Richards should get off her high horse and ride something more like this. And I appreciate you guys for coming to my aid. A few of you said she's so full of shit. You were on season 1, season 3, even though you were a cast member only on season 2. It's not fair what you brought to even season 3 with the train wreck scene was better than most people have. What is Kyle really bringing? Some of the fans said to me, which was really nice, they said, she doesn't understand what you're doing, that you have a gossip show and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is like fun to talk about because you have so much insight into it, but you have way more topics that you cover versus that little rinky-dink show. So the bottom line is I'm doing my art, which is gossip that I love about things that interest me. It has very little to do with the fact that I was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm not talking about that show because I was on it. I'm talking about it because there's dirt on all these women. And so many of the fans said, Dana, it's because you've been calling out that there's been all these allegations of infidelity on Mauricio for years. And although I never witnessed anything like that with him, you've been talking about what's circulating and letting people decide what they think about it. And you've been commenting on what you think, your opinion of Kyle's actions on the show is and Mauricio. And you talked about how Kathy Hilton's kids have had all these issues and problems and, my secret stories about Paris Hilton and what I've been able to find about Conrad, who there's, Hot Mess City, and we're talking racial slurs, not just Kathy Hilton, the whole family caught on tape at different moments in time. And you don't stick to the narrative of what everybody else is talking about. You gossip about Mauricio's legal problems, and you gossip about what really went down with Kim Richards. And so, of course, Kyle wouldn't like you anymore because you're talking about all the dirty laundry in an uncensored way on your Patreon that she doesn't want you to talk about, because she doesn't allow that to even come out on her reality show. That's how shitty of a housewife she is. So now let's move on. Kyle, at the time that we were doing the show together, she always was very nice to me and pretended to be my friend. Then she backstabbed me throughout the show in her like confessional videos. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. I had no idea because she was being really nice to me. Now, behind the scenes, as far as Brandy was concerned, she was like, Brandy is evil and she'll say anything and she's a liar and I don't want to be, she's dangerous. We want you to be on the show. However, the producers loved Brandy Glanville for obvious reasons, okay? She wasn't afraid to say basically anything, true or not, on the show to the women, and she had no friendships with any of them. She cared less. And that ended up working really well for Brandy, which is why she did as well as she did. But the truth of the matter is, Kyle Richards hated Brandy Glanville from the very beginning. And it wasn't until the producers made Kyle have to shoot with her, because basically they were like, we need her for the show. And Kyle Richards' whole life surrounds and centralizes, is centric around the show. And by the way, just to say it, you'll be like, but she's been on Halloween and all this stuff. No, actually, I was the one who introduced her to Malik Akkad again, because his dad passed away, Mustafa, and that's the reason she's in the Halloween movies, actually. But I'm not going to be bitter about the way she drags me constantly, because I also know she's pissed because I made fun of her best friend, Teddy Mellencamp, that she dreams about having been back on the show, apparently, because Teddy Mellencamp was so good for you guys, was such great TV. Such great TV that she can't stop talking about Teddy Mellencamp in the media. But I know that Kyle Richards did have influence over the producers. And if she really wanted Teddy Mellencamp to be on the show, she would have fought harder for her. And it would have happened, because Kyle does have power on that show, because she formulated it in the first place. So not unlimited power. If she starts to become a pain in the ass, or she shakes shit up too much, they'll fire her like everybody, but they give her a lot of rope, okay? A lot of rope. And so I don't believe even, she's giving Teddy Mellencamp shout outs to help keep her relevant and be a friend in that way, which I respect and appreciate. But let's face it, Teddy didn't want to leave the show. So if she really wanted to have Teddy's back, she would have fought for her to be on the show, or she would have pitched a storyline that would have helped Teddy stay on the show, because she gets to do that. Okay? So I'm just saying, okay? Kyle, save it, lady. Save it. Because I'm not talking with you. I'm talking about you and at you. Okay? So have a seat, sis. Have a seat. Now, I'm going to play the rest of this video, because I like this part about Kim. By the way, Brandy Glanville and Kim haven't spoken. They've been totally cut off. I'm like, what is she even talking about? Brandy's been a good friend of Kim. Like, for a hot second, she was. Give me a break.
I love seeing Kim on there in all different forms over the years.
She's doing great. She has two beautiful grandsons and one on the way.
Anyway, she goes on to say Kim's doing really well. But from what I've heard, she was at Kathy Hilton's viewing party. Kyle wasn't, because she was promoting in Australia, nor was Mauricio. But why would he be there? I don't think Rick Hilton really likes him because of all the drama that went down between, him and Mauricio back in the day, when he suddenly left the real estate firm, Hilton and Highland, and poached agents and left. So I have a feeling, they're not tight. And, I don't know. Kim Richards, didn't appreciate her sister not having her back for years on the show. So, Kyle loved to have her sister's drinking issues and drug issues on the show so that she didn't have to actually show anything about her life that could be negative, right? It's always nice to be on that side of things. So that's it. But you guys wanted me to respond, so there it is. She's not protected Kim Richards and had falling outs with Kim Richards on the show. She's not protected Kathy Hilton, and Kathy Hilton's about to get dragged and go, they've had a falling out on the show. Okay. She hasn't been integrated that much in Paris in Love, which says a lot to me. Okay. About how Kathy feels about integrating Kyle's ego into her, other family projects. And that's really it. That's like all I have to say on it. I just don't see her as a stand-up, loyal friend. And I don't even think she was loyal behind the scenes to Teddy. So that's just my opinion. I'm sure Teddy knows that deep down inside. But she appreciates Kyle coming on her show and helping her keep her podcast going and get advertisers and spill some tea to her when possible. Although, how much tea do you really get from people who are always so image conscious? All right, guys. Love you. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And let me know, am I wrong about Kyle Richards? Is she your fave? Let me know. Oh, and I think actually if she hadn't been such a chicken on this show, she would have said Lisa Vanderpump, because we all know that Lisa should have stayed on the show. It's just a shame that Kyle Richards decided to push her out. But I mean, she was trying to push her out from the very beginning because she hates when someone's more popular than she is. Bye.